Hi. Why do we love a bad boy? I've been there and I've done that and I've had the t-shirt to prove it. It's not all it's cracked up to be. These bad boys will never change. I used to think, my way of life, they'll calm down, they'll settle down, they'll realise that this is a better, nicer, sweeter way to be, and trust me, they do not. I get it. The appeal is you want somebody that keeps you on your toes. You want somebody who'll tell you when you're wrong, because genuine nice people will not tell you that, and sometimes you do need to hear it. But that's not all the right reasons. A bad boy can be, these days it's very pumped up from the gym, tattoos, tanned, and you're just absolutely fixated on them physically and emotionally. Okay? If they've got the traits of having a healthy relationship inside, then that's great. But if they don't, it's that bad boy image that is going to draw you in every time. But just remember, it's drew you in. Your friends might be like, yeah, your boyfriend's really sexy. How many other women out there do? And as much as I'm, a woman's woman, I would never dream of going with anybody's partner, husband. I totally don't agree with that. You bang out of order. But some women will not care. Some women will see it as a challenge to get flirty with them, get close to them, have a one night stand with them or whatever, because it's the challenge. And unfortunately, these bad guys, they can't say no. So whether it takes a couple of days, weeks, months, they'll give in to that. So do you really want that happening to you? And I'll tell you a story. Years ago, I was going out with a doorman. I was a single mum on my own with 2 children. So I didn't really go out socialising, drinking with friends. However, he was the perfect boyfriend from Monday to Thursday. Absolutely head over heels for him. Perfect partner, would cook, it would take, because I weren't driving at the time, it'd take me out, it'd do things for the children. He was absolutely amazing. Come Friday, Saturday and Sunday, you would see a totally different character. And this character was the person that would dress us up in the nice suit, they go into the doorman, they take their job very seriously. And, I never saw anything from this person from Friday to Sunday. Now, naively, I'd make excuses up in my head and I'll say, oh, they're just busy, or they're having after hours drinking, or we'd say, I was that tired, I went home to my mum's house, and I'd go, oh, right, yeah. And the self-doubt would click in, and I'd think, I don't quite believe you. And he'd have texts all the time, and I was so desperate to believe that, no, he presents this behaviour on a Monday to a Thursday, so how can he possibly present in this other behaviour, bad boy behaviour, on a weekend? But that's what was happening. And the final straw was, one day I'd gone looking in the car for something, and we didn't use condoms. We'd been together for about 5 years, and there was condoms there. Challenged him about it, and he was, of course, they're not mine, they're my brother's, they're my friends. And I knew in my heart that he was lying, and I still tolerated it for a short space of time, because I wanted this person that presented Monday to Thursday. And when I used to see him going out the door on a Friday to Sunday, it was that bad boy image, because he'd come back and he'd be like, well, this happened in the pub tonight and this happened, and I'd be like, yeah, really proud, that's my boyfriend, when really I probably was an absolute laughing stock, because all he did all weekend was get women's numbers. Sometimes he'd go home with them, and again, it was, for me, that was the whole bad boy experience. And you know what, I had 5 years of that, and I would trade that for what I've got now. I've got the most loyal partner. Rather than go out drinking, he would 100% every day of the week be home with me. There's a difference. Can you see the difference? And again, I'm not here to say you shouldn't go for bad boys. I'm not here to, but just be mindful. They're very hard to tame, and most likely than not, you won't succeed. And if you do, you're always looking over your shoulder for for the next one. And don't get me wrong, ultimately they do have to settle down. You know, this person did. He eventually got married. I haven't seen or heard of him for about 20 years, but you know, they do. But don't sit around waiting for that time that they're going to do it, because you'll have a loneliest, saddest, heartbreaking time while you're waiting, and most often than not, they're not worth it. Thank you for listening today. Please like and subscribe my page, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.